this time. They better not miss those anchovies. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Tuepenz.
And I'm Gaplord.
And we are
the Juice Crew
Villans. That's funny. Keep it. We just keep it. I don't know why I wanted to hold my breath on that. I just say.
Life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life.
Good day, everyone. It's me, Gaplord, your fan extraordinaire. And today we're going to present to you a very important topic that we think is important to discuss with the community. Should black people get more comfortable with snitching on their neighbor for committing illegal crimes? And let me repeat that again for the people who did not hear me. Should black people, specifically black people, should black people get more comfortable with snitching on their neighbors for committing illegal crimes? This topic is inspired by Charleston White.
Shout out to you, Mr. White.
So let's start this conversation off with that in mind. With what is snitching? What do you consider snitching?
To me, snitching is, say, you and I got together and said, we're going to commit a crime together. And I got caught and you got away. And I said, hey, if you let me go, I'll give you up my bro.
Okay. So like if you and your bro was committing a crime and one was running and y'all was hiding in the bushes and one of them got caught in the bushes and said, hey, and the guy was like, hey, come out them bushes, everybody. That'd be snitching, right?
It's bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, you know, and I just
but y'all both aware that y'all was committing the crime.
Man, so yeah, and that's, I'm not gonna go deep into it, you know what I'm saying, what Mr. White had said, but what he had mentioned, what he said, he said, when did niggas start getting scared to go to jail? That's a part of the game. Going to jail is a part of the game. And the mafia, they knew, like, you see on the movies, the big bosses, they be like, I gotta go sit down for a couple years in the joint. Mm-hmm. They knew they were going to jail. Why do you expect to be a criminal and not go to jail?
Good point. Because it's going to come at some point.
What are you talking about?
So I'll follow up and ask that question. Why are criminals expecting civilians not to snitch?
Rap music has, they had the whole no snitching campaign. They had the no snitching t-shirts and everything. And I believe that got into a generation of young people that were too young to understand what the term snitching mean, because now I hear children using snitching way more at school when the teacher said, who did it? And they like, well, I don't have nothing to do with it. So there was this kid over here, and they call that snitching. Who took the pencil? Who threw the toilet paper on the wall? That's like you're being a vandalist. You're a vandalist. That's, so, you know what I'm saying? But that's not really, but the kids using it, and so is that when they grow up, they say, well, don't be a snitch. And then these kids that believe to not snitch and teach their kids to not snitch, and so on and so forth, and we repeat this repetitive cycle.
So I heard you say rap music. There is some to blame with rap music. I think it popularized it for sure. Mm-hmm. But even in my parents' era, where it wasn't so much of rap music, my parents grew up on different type of music. So, but they always grew up on that no tattletelling. Like, don't you tattletale. Even when someone does something wrong, mm-hmm. Just mind your business and turn a blind eye.
Do you think it would come from the slave code? Have you ever heard that where they said, when the slave run away, they don't say nothing so the slave can get away or whatever?
No, I don't think anything that applies to today comes from slavery. I think that stuff is just an excuse.
Tom Giss said that.
Yeah.
He said no snitching came from slavery. It rhymed. It sounded well in the song. It sounded good, but Tom Giss said that. Yeah,
I think we're so far removed from slavery. I don't think that
it applies. It's not applicable.
Yeah, there are some customs and like traditions, of course, like cooking.
Yeah, eating
things
pig,
like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that those things, because I can go into a different aspect of that slavery thing that didn't work out well for black people from black on black. And people will hate it. But that's not the discussion today.
Yeah, we're going to stop it.
But let me ask this. Does snitching apply to civilians who don't commit crimes?
No.
So people who don't commit crimes, civilians, people like everyday, your neighbors who just go to work, does snitching apply to them?
Absolutely. Positively not.
Why not?
Because they're minding their business. They're not involved in a criminal enterprise. We could even consider, the best example when it's the closest to not being snitching, but snitching was the scene from the movie Belly when that nigga was like, "I'm gonna drop a dime on them niggas." I don't like that shit.
Because he was a criminal. Too.
Yeah, he's selling drugs. So sometimes, snitching can be leveraged within the dope game, and that's the problem with the game.
But there's no honor amongst thieves.
Thank you. That's why I was thinking about my boy Hot Boy West. I don't know him personally or anything, but I was listening to some of his music, and he was saying he's like, man, it's all everything's screwed up because ain't no code to this.
How could we expect a code amongst thieves and criminals? They are breaking the code. They are breaking the most moral code that's available.
Oh yeah.
And then you expect them to behave in a code that's a street code.
The mafia do a good job of it. They do a better job.
They don't even do a good job because they snitch too.
I'm gonna give them a 75. I'm gonna give them a 33. Damn. Because snitching does ruin the organization, but for the most part, it's some pretty good, it's some decent mafia families. There's criminal families and criminal enterprises that understand that they have a code they live by, and those guys, you don't see a lot of black gangsters growing old.
Yeah, it's not as many.
I'm just saying,
the mob, the Italian mob.
Those guys grow old.
They do better at being a gangster than
they grow old
than black gangsters.
But I'm just saying though, the only
but they also do. They're gangster. They're not doing. So Italian mafia and like black gangster culture is not like Italian gang. They're not drive by.
It's night and day
because you to mess with that girl.
Come on, but they got so the code they got right. Hey Tony disrespected me. I'm gonna put a hit on him, but you can't whack a made man without talking to Sal.
Yeah.
in the black community, they'll shoot you in Walmart.
With your kids.
In front of everybody. And then
why you holding your baby man?
Expect people that's there not to tell on you. And they shoot you in front of everybody. And expect people not to tell on you. So
okay, so that's a good right there. My segue question to that would be why are black people afraid of snitching on their neighbors for committing crimes?
Shit, because they don't want to die for it. The police don't protect you. They can't protect you. If you can't move out that neighborhood and you snitch and people find out, people that probably wasn't even involved in it will probably get you just to get some stripes and earn some points with the gangbangers in the community because those are the people who essentially run the community for the most part.
And you're easy target.
Yeah, you're super easy. They know where you stay. Like, we know where them niggas stay. We can go over there and turn their house on fire and shoot them up. You seen that on the show The Wire. The little boy tried to cooperate and they burnt the house up, killed the boy mama. The boy was already adopted, and they killed the mama, and and these is children.
And some
these
of this
little
stuff,
BGs.
They done this in Chicago. Remember they burnt the little boy up in Chicago?
Yes. It just happened in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago. It just happened in Philadelphia. A young girl was killed who's about to testify on that cone. When they beat that old man with that cone, a 13-year-old girl was killed. 13-year-old girl was killed.
See, and that's the thing. It's like
shit deep,
when
man.
you have things like this happening, it's like it's hard to protect.
Damn, bro, we about to get deep on these niggas. Cause that right there,
that man's sad.
A 13-year-old girl
was murdered.
They thought she was about to snitch.
Name it.
She about to
snitching for telling the truth.
This is like
so. It ain't no snitching. So we make up these words to bring a bad connotation onto what you're doing. You're telling the truth to build a better community.
That's why I want to touch on that point real quick. The reason I say that black people should probably snitch on their neighbors because I say yes because they do it in the suburbs because it helps the community. In the suburb that I live in, I have the app Nextdoor Digest. I said Digest. Nextdoor Digest. On Nextdoor Digest, my neighbors, and it shows the area where they live at. They talk about break-ins. They share videos. Have you seen this person? Have you seen that person?
Ring.
Yeah. It helps you protect your assets if you're a person in the community. Then my second point I was going to say was, if you in the streets, people should know you do crime. Your neighbors shouldn't know that you're trapping out. They shouldn't know what type of drugs you sell out your house. They shouldn't know that you're shooting at people. They shouldn't know none of this. They should look at you as an everyday citizen. And you should come off like that. And that's how the mafia wins. And that's why blank gangsters lose.
Yeah, so like what benefits come from a criminal neighbor?
None.
There's no positive benefits.
Because they might think, my house is your house and shoot my house up.
So you have
and shoot my kids.
You have every right to be snitching. It's not snitching. It's telling the truth and protecting your neighborhood.
And it's like going to jail, get your stripes.
Yeah, go get. That's when you really get your stripes anyway, and that's why it's important.
Shit, you bad.
Yeah, and then you can come out and
Go to jail and go in there with the bad niggas.
Go with the bad, yeah,
like Charles the White man
yeah.
said, go in there with the niggas is bad for real. Where they in there, nigga, it's this. It's all you got. We gonna see who bad. When you got 10 of your ops and you gotta face them, what you gonna do?
You can't shoot them from afar.
Yeah.
You can't snipe people.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, you gotta
it's
man up
close and
for it.
personal, yeah.
Or you gotta let it go.
Or you gotta give up your chicken.
That's how I know most of y'all not really living like that. Y'all just people who was going through stuff. Y'all the fatherless.
I'm not living like that. And let me tell you, I'm thinking about snitching on one of my neighbors now. I'm giving them multiple chances, but she has too much illegal activity. I can tell the illegal activities.
This is my recommendation for all the black gangsters. Move to the country. Move away from everybody.
And eliminate yourself out there.
Because the city...
Nah, bro, it gotta be... Nah, you can't even move to... So Oklahoma has a lot of rural areas.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that too, because I want to move somewhere and destroy somebody else's neighborhood. Now, what I'm referencing is this. Don't piss where you lay your head at. Y'all love this trap house word because Jeezy made everybody believe the trap house stuff. You know what I'm saying? And y'all think it's cool living in a bando. No. You know, but I mean, crime period just isn't a good idea. Let me just stop there. Okay. Crime isn't a good idea. I don't want to be an advocate for crime. But, you know, criminals are very creative. You got to be a very creative person to think of ways to elude the police every day of your life. Yeah. It's just like y'all wasting y'all talent. If you're a criminal and you're thinking of ways to get away from the police, you're wasting your skills, son. Or a young lady.
And what's crazy is that fast money. I understand it is amazing.
Yeah.
Up front. But there's no criminal. There's like a 0.001% of criminals who actually get to see the rainbow at the end of the road. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
I know, trust me.
And it might be even less than that. But
ask the niggas like Gangsta Williams now. You know, baby them brother. He'll tell you this ain't what you want. Any real gangster that'll make it out, especially the black gangsters, they're gonna tell you for sure, this is not what you want. This ain't TV. It's something totally different.
Man, any criminal, if you've been to, I have family members, brothers, cousins, they all been to prison. They all gonna be like, oh nah, prison is hell. Like, I ain't seen, like, they never seen humans act the way that people act in prison. Like, I'm terrified. I don't commit crimes.
Yeah, that's why niggas be snitch. That's why niggas get, don't tell on me, nigga. Yeah. I'm terrified.
No. So I'm an advocate for people snitching. But my version of snitching, I'm not a criminal. I don't participate in no gang banging, no criminal activity. I'm a civilian. And I feel like if somebody's in my neighborhood bringing threats, drugs, criminal activity near my children, violence, main thing, they should be snitched on. But drugs and stuff bring violence and all those other things. And I'm not a participant in any of those things, so why shouldn't I, low-key, a.k.a. snitch?
And it, you know, but go back to the morals, and I'm going to just leave these, I'm going to hit them with the scripture real quick.
Hold on. Before you hit them with the scripture,
what you got?
Let me ask. This is what I'm going to end it off with, and then you can hit them with your scriptures.
Got it.
Are the possible consequences of snitching worth it?
The consequences?
Yeah, for like a civilian snitching. I mean, a civilian. We say snitching, but I just don't feel comfortable saying snitching. Right.
And I'm gonna have to say,
are the possible consequences of snitching worth it for a civilian?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason I say yes is because it's the example that Jesus Christ set for us. You know, cross me so much I got nails in my hands. City on fire like Bethlehem. You understand what I'm saying? And what that means to me is like, you know, Jesus would say, hey, they over here doing this. And he would tell them, hey, I'm about to tell on y'all. I'm about to call the police and tell on y'all that y'all doing this because y'all shouldn't be doing this. To show black Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
I'll fuck with black
Jesus. That show helped me really get some faith in Jesus watching that show. And if you haven't watched every episode of Black Jesus, I'm talking about every episode.
Actually, that's one of the best
shows ever. Yeah. Ever. It's probably my favorite.
It's my top 10.
It made me believe in God again. You know what I'm saying? It brought me back to God. it really brought me back. Because I had a real relationship with God before I got into deep into my blackness. And watching Black Jesus reminded me of what Jesus, because the Bible is really about, it's just gearing you up for the hero of the Bible, Jesus, which is the example of how man can be.
Yep.
How man can be. Now remember, in the Bible, all they showed us was Jesus' highlights and shit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't go through his everyday struggle. But who knows what Jesus struggled with? Make up your own story. You Jesus. I'm Jesus. Everybody Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, you don't think you Jesus because your name ain't Jesus Christ because they got a name. That's what happened with name. Getting people get tied up in the name.
Sorry.
It's not Jesus the man.
Caught up in the title.
It's Jesus the Spirit.
Yeah.
The Christ is the Spirit. Jesus is just the man, but it's the Christ of the Spirit. I don't want to get all deep. I wish Jameson was here. He know.
No, so that's a good point because
Jameson know.
I ask people, why would the Bible even tell you to be these things if there was unaccomplishable? Like if I can't accomplish being perfect, like
go be LeBron James.
Just like
that's the best example I got. Go do.
But that's
what
not
LeBron
even asking you to be because that's something that's just like athletic, like that some people gifted with. But morally, we can all be. We can choose to be this.
And that's all Jesus was showing us.
Yeah, it's not unaccomplished. Like nobody's perfect. Like, well, speak for yourself because of course nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, but we can all. What's stopping us from being perfect?
Humanity.
Yeah, it's like we can.
But
I'm talking about perfect morally.
But you can because you gotta be in tune with. So Jesse always talk about I'm perfect, and people like, what do you mean you?
He don't say he's perfect.
But you know what I mean. He says this, but when he
he doesn't.
I'm gonna find a video where he says it because
you have to because
I'm about to find it. Yeah. But when he says it, I don't take it as him, Jesse Lee Peterson, because I heard him break it down like my spirit. Mm-hmm. He's referencing the spirit. The spirit is perfect. No matter who you are as a human, your spirit is flawless. Period. It's flawless. It's how it's designed. Now, if you're not channeling it right, you could throw it off and you can lose sight of where your spirit even is inside of your mind. You don't know where it exists at no more because you got so deep into your human self that you've lost your spiritual morals to keep you grounded in your faith and connected to the true God that exists in all of us.
Be in the world, not of it.
And that's what I'm saying. So when you so externally focused, you lose the internal sight inside of you, which is a perfect spirit that God has put in all of us, which, he was the example through Jesus, the book, Jesus Christ.
Which me personally was my best when I was a kid.
Yeah. And that's what that's what everybody
my parents, they'd be like, hey, when you was a kid, you just knew. They're like, you never did. And I knew when shit was wrong. Even in that, I know now. Mm. But like as a kid, I actually followed it to a T. Like obey your parents. My parents say, hey, don't you walk into this house without your key. I don't want you to jump to. I'm standing on the porch for 5-6 hours waiting for them to come home in the snow. It's like I followed everything to a T. They thought it was so weird. They thought it was weird so much I followed it to a T. But as a kid, I really knew right from wrong. Like even my friends, they like this nigga. But it's like at some point I got lost and get lost astray.
And we all go there. We got to go through our human experience to understand how to separate ourselves from our human experience. Because I think we get caught up so deep in being humans and the trauma that we experience as humans that we forget that we're spiritual beings initially. The body is a vehicle. When they say it's a vessel, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really who you are right now. That's who you are today, but that's not really who you are as a spirit. It's something bigger and better than that. And I just wish all y'all could see that, But I'm going to get into this Isaiah verse real quick. And it says, Isaiah 1:16-17 says, stop doing wrong. Learn to do right. Seek justice. Encourage the oppressed. Defend the cause of the fatherless. Plead the case of the widow. Now, people get mad at God, and I know black people didn't turn their back on God because, niggas ain't got no money. If being broke can do that to you, it make you forget about everything. But what you got to understand about the Bible is this. It's not a book that be taken just literally. To me, it's a book of codes and things that you can take from it and apply to your everyday life. The story of Jesus walking on water could have been people just scared of water because they don't know what the hell water was. So they were scared to walk in, and he could be walking in a few feet of water. And niggas said, man, y'all see here, he walking on water. But he could have been knee deep in it. Y'all wasn't there. Y'all don't know what they seen to make it think like he walking on water. The story could have got over exaggerated, whatever the case may be. I think he would get so deep into the Bible in terms of, the white man wrote this and blah, 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 that they can't take nothing from it. And if you got a problem in your life and you black and you going through something, get you a Bible and start reading the book of Proverbs.
Yeah.
Just start reading that.
Because God is in you.
Yeah.
It's not no, like you don't even need, you actually don't need a Bible to find God. I believe in that, truly. But the Bible is like an instruction manual.
That's all it is, man.
And of course, people say it's been tampered with over time. Of course, yeah. But it's like when you have God and when you find God in yourself, and then you read that book, you be like,
you can take something from it.
Yeah, it's like, because like your thoughts aren't flawed. It's like you hold yourself accountable. You are not blaming others. You're not a victim. You're not running in a victim Olympics. You are accountable for your own actions. It brings something that, like, you read it totally different. I read the Bible as a victim and not a victim, and it hits different.
Way different.
Yeah.
Way different. And then before I got deep into my victimhood mentality, because that's what that black stuff was, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's how they set us up. They turn black into victim. Being a victim is now a race. And that's why you see all these other groups leeching off of black people trying to be victims. But I'm not even going to go there. But black people, man, we got to get back to that Bible, get back to that word to condition our brains for righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Every time you read, and I talk about this and how the benefits of reading is, when you're reading words and you're reading books, it's like doing push-ups and sit-ups for you with your mind. You're strengthening your mind when you do that, because you have to focus your mind to read these things. You have to look at it and you have to interpret it. And if you were smart, I mean, just take notes, write it down so you can remember it. You ain't got to read the whole book. You can just read one scripture every day. So keep reading. Just push yourself to do something different. If you're having a hard time in life, you got to look around at why you're having a hard time, and you got to try to do something different. You know what I'm saying? And I think the first thing we can start about is, if your neighbor is doing wrong, y'all need to get together as a community and say something about it.
Yeah. I think the best option is, if I understand that you might not be, this is my last 2 cents. If there's a neighbor that you can talk to, speak to them first about, like, hey, we don't like this going on. Yeah. And it's going to have to end soon. But most of the time, it's not going to be like that.
They're going to shoot you.
So it's probably best to just call the police on them.
But if you can,
especially if you have kids, you don't want your kids seeing.
But come on now, let's be real about it. It be these people's nephews, they sons, they kids out here doing this stuff.
No. So you speaking? It is probably one neighbor like that. That's but the majority of the neighbors everybody in the neighborhood ain't related.
Man,
it affects the whole neighborhood. I don't know what type of neighborhood you stayed in, but my neighborhood's been kind of big, and there's been a few family members. And it's like
I'm speaking of
this smallest neighborhood I stayed in, like, currently, but it's like everybody's not related.
When I was growing up, it was gangbanging families.
That's been everywhere. It's always gangbanging.
That's like where the area. So where I'm at, it's like families of people that's in it.
But everybody, so you have say you have 1,000 people staying in your neighborhood.
Okay.
10 of them related. Okay. That's the minimum.
I could.
I mean, that's probably the most, actually.
I see the rise in that too, because a lot of houses,
Yeah, but it's like, and they don't even stay on the same street. So it might be 2 on the same street, 3 block over. It doesn't matter. It's like, you got to get them out of there. It's like, you got to do what's best for your kids and your family.
And community. No, undoubtedly. But I know these.
I say kids and family, then community.
But I mean, yeah, but
kids and families going to eventually affect community.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We just don't do a good job of that in our neighborhoods.
Yeah,
we don't.
So y'all let us know what y'all think. Should you be snitching on your neighbors if they in there? Yeah, aka snitching. Or should you be telling the truth about your neighbors when they're over there selling dope, busting jigs? Got a trap house in you. Turn up your community because they don't take care of that grass and shit. Should you be telling on your neighbors to the cops, get them up out of there? Or should you just mind your business?
Shit. I don't know. Y'all come out to the suburbs with that. They gonna call police on your ass real quick. Right. But man, while y'all up there, man, what you should be doing right now, you should be liking and subscribing to all of these videos. You should be sharing it with your friends and also commenting to let us know what you think. Bitch.
You got all these pauses.
I'm working on I'm getting my Obama back. my public speaking on bomb. You know, nigga be like, and I for one love butt fucking men.
That's what that weak nigga did for sure. He can speak.
You know, I'm not a
Manifesting the
peace
vibe, yeah, we feeling
You know, I don't have
it.
nobody
You
moving,
waste your
but
time,
I
then
can't
you
tell
killing
you
it.
know, the
Life's too short, so we living it up.
you know, so that's one
Pull up
thing
to
that
the
you gotta
party
be able
with
to do
this
is
drink
just
in my
learn
cup.
who
Don't
does
fuck
have
with
that
nobody
ability
if
to learn
that
how
body
to, you know, access the people.
my trust only lies
And to add to that, that's even after you have to recognize it first. So you might not even know till you're 40. Some people recognize it earlier.
I've been
Some
rapping
people
my whole
recognize it
life.
later.
I ain't been rapping that
So
long.
just to
Life
add to
is
that
short,
little
my nigga.
comment you said.
I couldn't
you
write a
repeat that
verse in
question? I wanna make
jail.
sure I answer
Couldn't get a
this question
vibe there. Surrounded by depression, no niggas in wheelchairs.
With the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead, I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to pause. I know exactly how this ends, but